You're listening to the Nobody's Podcast. We've heard from almost all of the genetically gifted members of the Wilkinson family, so we thought it was high time to have some of the McClays on. Doing anything during a pandemic can be taxing, but it's a whole nother thing to give birth during it. Well, that's exactly what my sister, Elle McClay Seals, did when she gave birth to her second son about a month ago. She's also here to prove not everyone in my family is as insane as I am. All this and more coming up.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of The Nobodies. I think maybe we glitched a little. I think we glitched a little in your... That's okay though. It just adds to the charm.
Of course, the Wi-Fi is gonna go out now. The Wi-Fi is gonna go out in both of our houses because I just told Annie before this that our Wi-Fi at my parents' house is as bad as hers in Burbank.
Yes, Bryce is in Omaha right now.
That'll be fun. I am in Omaha, and we have my sister here.
Yes, hello.
Ellie's here.
You were waiting so patiently to speak.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I need a prompt too. I'm not as bad as Bryce, but yeah. I can go a little bit.
No one's as bad as Bryce.
This is already going off to a great start.
I know you've said from the start.
Real shotgun fire.
Well, you've said from the start that Ellie and I are very similar.
Yes,
yeah,
I think you are.
Yeah, Annie, I agree a lot of the things you say on the podcast.
Good, you're on the right side of history.
Yeah.
But seriously, I mean, I do feel like there are similarities between the two of you, just in the way, like, your reactions and stuff, and mostly like you're annoyed by the same things.
That's what bonds people more than anything.
I agree.
Yeah.
That's a good, like subtle complaining, but like not only complaints, just like telling people the truth in the world.
Exactly. Nothing bonds you to a person more than hating the same things.
That is the truth.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into it. Annie, how are you current winning this week?
My current winning is a little like Bryce-like this week in the sense that it's like not really a win. I did a dumb amount of online shopping.
Oh, well.
But okay, let me explain the orders and then I'm going to tell you why it's not that bad and why it's winning. I ordered 2 pairs of biker shorts from Fabletics, 2 swimsuit bottoms from Aerie. What else?
Do you know of these
brands? I'm like Bryson. Yeah. Do you know these brands?
No, I mean, I know Fabletics is Kate
Actually,
Hudson, right?
Yeah. You're the brand.
Okay. Well, good. I'm glad. I'm trying to be an influencer. Okay, so, then I got a pair of the like waterproof Birkenstocks, some dry shampoo from Living Proof.
Jen Aniston, I know that.
Some vitamins from this brand called Love Wellness, which is Lo Bosworth's brand.
Okay.
From the hills or not? Yeah. And
no, Laguna Beach. Yeah.
She was on the hills too.
Oh, you're right.
Oh, she was on the hills.
Yeah.
Hello.
We'll come back to
that. Could be a whole segment too, just talking about old shows.
Seriously.
That could be a whole thing.
Yeah, we'll revisit that in a second. But I think that might be it. So between like Sunday to yesterday, I placed like 5 online shopping orders. Here's why it's current winning. None of those orders were higher than $45.
Oh, that's great.
Drop.
Yeah. Annie just raised her arms and dropped them.
Yes.
Really good.
Thank you.
But like honestly, shopping is current winning. Like you need that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. I mean, really, you need to do whatever makes you
I'm like so lazy. Like if it's not Amazon Prime, it like takes me so long to like get my wallet and like get my card out. Like
I have my debit card memorized.
I just got a new one.
Yeah.
It's a good
I also just received a new debit card with the same number as my old one because it was just like an expired whatever. Like it, you know what I'm saying? Like it just, the expiration and the code changed. And then I just got an email today. So this is a current lose. I got an email today that they're sending me a new one because apparently my 5 online orders raised some suspicion.
You went
now
crazy.
I have to memorize a new card number.
Oh, that's so annoying.
So annoying.
Ellie, how are you corn?
Oh gosh. How am I corn winning? Bryce, you're in town.
Oh,
that's
I
my
knew
win.
it was gonna be that.
That really is good though. It's like breaking things up. I mean, we're honestly way too close right now, but we're
Yes, we are way too
Your
close.
family.
No,
That's okay.
You did. Yeah, you did quarantine.
I did quarantine a little bit. I mean, I kind of waited just to make sure that I wasn't showing any signs or anything. And so, I mean, my allergies are out of control. So it's just weird to figure out what's going on. But
plus, I still think you had coronavirus. So like, that's also kind of relieving.
Yeah, he thinks that too.
Yeah, I really do.
I do. I kind of do too. I asked him, I'm like, can you go get a test? Because like you're on a cruise ship.
Yeah, I mean, I probably should
100%.
have. Funny enough that you mentioned the hills because someone just literally last night, this is part of my corn winning, but somebody literally last night, one of my friends said that I looked like Brody Jenner.
Okay, was that friend?
How does Annie feel about it? And that was the best compliment I've ever gotten.
That friend is legally blind. And they were not wearing their glasses. That's okay. Wait a second. Time out. That people have to stop telling you that you look like any white man with a closely shaven beard.
I'm saying, like, who are these friends?
Who are your friends? They're not your friends because they're lying to you.
I surround myself with positive people, and they are telling me
liars.
They're telling me the right stuff.
No, you surround yourself with positive people and liars.
All right,
liars.
Okay, I do have another corn winning though that because Ellie did hear this story, but like so I'm at my parents' house, and obviously, and my you know, you just don't know what you just like. I haven't lived with my parents in a long time, so it's
I'm
just
so nervous about where this is going.
I mean, it's really not that bad. But my mom, so I like to through line is that my mom told her friend that I called. This is a long thing that I called her daughter's now ex-boyfriend a fuck boy. Like on the phone yesterday, because I saw
a picture of him.
Yeah, so I saw a picture. I saw a picture of him like when they first started dating, because this is one of my mom's best friends. And so, you know, I saw a picture of him when he was dating, and I was like, oh, that guy looks like a fuckboy. Like just total definition. I could just tell right away. And so then, I mean, that was months ago.
Yeah.
And then I saw that they aren't dating anymore. Or my mom told me that they weren't dating or whatever. And so she's on the phone with her friend. And I had we were talking about, she had asked me actually a couple of things because they do some Instagram lives and stuff. And so she was just asking for proper procedures or whatever. And I was explaining a few things. And then I went inside and my mom's still talking to them. And she's like, oh yeah. Yeah. I come back in and my mom's like, Bryce, what did you call him again?
What'd you call that girl's boyfriend?
Yeah, that girl's boyfriend. And I said, a fuck boy? And she's like, oh yeah. She's like, oh my gosh, I don't even want to say it. I don't want to say it. And she's like, I don't even know what that is. And then she's like, do you know what it is? Do you know what it is?
She asks her friend, the mom, do you know what that is? And then she asks
the
girl
daughter
who was dating,
who was there too.
Do you know what that is?
So they all know that I said that her now ex-boyfriend, I was like, oh, he must be a fuckboy. And now they know. And then my mom sent her the definition.
Yeah, exactly.
True.
Maybe they feel better about it.
But what if they get back together?
Well, it's her fault for dating a fuckboy.
We did hear from a source that he actually is, so maybe that.
But Annie, also, my mom then sent her friend the Urban Dictionary definition of a fuckboy to explain to her what it was.
Why does your mom know what Urban Dictionary is?
I don't ask. I don't know.
I hope that Janie just typed into Google fuckboy.
Yeah, I think she did.
Which that's in her Google search now.
Yes, I love that.
Which much. She would never even utter the word in real life, so I don't need it.
She beeps herself.
Yeah, she'd be like, oh, an F. I think she actually said F boy. I don't even think she said the word to her friend.
There's no way she said it.
It was hilarious.
Sometimes
oh my God.
The word fuck is just exactly what you need.
It really is.
Yeah.
You really could make, I mean, I say it too, but you really have shed light on that for me. It's just, sometimes it's just a great thing to say.
And you can fit it in anywhere.
Yes.
Everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
it's the best.
anything.
It's the best. I'll never apologize for saying it. Unless I say it in front of a kid, then I feel bad.
I know, that's why I feel like I should stop saying it.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I know.
Yeah, but there's like nothing cuter than like a 3-year-old saying
True. Everyone wanted to be the kid that, like, said the video.
Yeah.
It was like holding the beers.
Yes.
In there too. Like, you want that picture of yourself.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
In fact, when I meet your kids, Ellie, I'm going to teach them how to say it.
It's so fitting now.
It is. It is.
Well, speaking of that, we wanted to have, because, you know, obviously we're experts on nothing and with opinions and everything, but we wanted to talk to Ellie. We'd been had this idea for a little while. I don't know what Annie's going to ask you, so good luck with that. But I
don't know what I'm going to ask you either.
But we wanted to get, you know, a mom. We thought that you would be great to have a mom expert. Obviously, our, you know, moms are amazing, but just having a young mom here, especially the fact that you literally just gave birth a month ago in a pandemic. So you have to tell us, like, and all of our listeners, like, what that was like.
Oh, yeah. So I have one son, Porter, who's 1.5. So I did give birth not in a pandemic.
Like normal, like a normal life.
And then this one, I have Lewis, who's just a month. And yes, this was during a pandemic. But okay, it's hard because my first birth was so chaotic that I mean, this one was like a walk in the park. But I will say that it was stressful leading up to it because for one, you don't know if you're going to get your doctor at all. In Omaha, at least, doctors were doing a rotation where they're on for 3 days, 12 hours straight, and then they sleep and they stay at the hospital. They're on for 3 days and then they're off for 6. So the chance that you're going to get your doctor is like pretty slim. So especially if you're a first-time mom, that I felt like that would have been super stressful. And then also leading up, like, I didn't see my doctor the whole month before because they'd already switched out all of the OBs. So you were just seeing like old labor and delivery doctors. Like, so I was seeing this like old guy because he wasn't doing labor and delivery anymore for like a month. So that part was kind of stressful because you're like, anything that I had thought going into this is not what happened. But what was kind of funny is my son Lewis was late, and so we had to set an induction date, and so I set it for when my doctor was going to be there.
So how far? So for people that don't know, an induction date would be that's when you would be
induced, which would mean you would
like
have
not a natural, not
right. Yeah, you wouldn't naturally go into labor. You would be given some sort of like drugs to go into labor, and that's not a bad thing. Actually, a lot of women like prefer it. A lot of women do it and like it, but I had gone into labor naturally with my first. So I was like, you know, I want that experience again because I know what I'm getting into. Like, that's probably the hardest thing about birth. You don't want the
unknown. There's already so much unknown.
Yeah, that's the worst part. You're like, what am I about to get into that I have to? Like, at the end of this, there will be an end, and like, you have to get into it. So anyway, I was hoping. So he ended up, I think it's part of his personality. I was supposed to go in to be induced, like, let's call it, well, it was a Wednesday. So he was supposed to be induced on a Wednesday, but I went into labor on Tuesday night at 7 p.m. And so I was literally, my doctor didn't get on until 7, and I had my baby at 7:13. So he came 13 minutes, like, she did deliver, but he was like 13 minutes into her shift. Yeah.
So she literally walked into her shift and like
wash hands, put on the mask, catch the baby, like.
That's insane.
I mean, I think, like, I say, like, his personality is probably like, Mom, I had this plan. Like, it was going to, like, don't worry.
I got this covered.
Oh,
yeah.
He's an Annie baby.
Yeah. It's like, I got this covered.
Yeah.
Like, don't worry.
Don't stress.
Yeah.
We laugh because Annie was born on a Monday morning at like 5. Like, she was ready to get down to business. She came in ready. I'm like, okay, let's get this done, Earth. Let's get this done, world.
Seriously, that's so funny because I always think that like birth stories are a reflection of the kid. I was like on a Friday at noon, just in time for the weekend.
Yeah,
like,
Ellie was
sunny summer day.
Oh my God, no. Monday
Ellie was
morning,
ready for
5:12 a.m.
margarita right then and there.
Nope, not
That's
me.
so funny.
But I also put Mama Will through like 28 hours of labor or something absurd.
Yes, that was like.
Is that Porter? So
yeah, Porter's
one, and so but they're very indicative of their personalities too, because Porter's like really rambunctious and Louis is so chill.
Yeah, he's so chill.
Porter is at that age though that he's like running around
Yeah.
everywhere and just can't, wants to get into everything.
Yeah, but
that's gotta be a fun age during
Porter,
a pandemic.
I tried to have an epidural and I was like thrilled when I got it. At first I didn't know. I was like, oh, maybe I'll do a natural birth. Who knows? And then I was like, no, give me the epidural.
Okay, you're not crunchy. Like you don't need, just give the drugs.
I was in the room for one of my best friends' births last summer. And
yes.
She was just, she was trying to go no epidural. Her contractions got so bad that she was like vomiting. And I finally was like, do not be a hero. Like, what are you doing? Like, this is absurd. And so she got it. And so the anesthesiologist comes in, gives her the epidural immediately. She's like calm and chilling. And he came back to check on her like whenever they're supposed to. And when he came in, I was like, do you think that you could give me one of those for my ride home? Obviously a joke. And no one even smiled. Like, I don't think that none of my jokes have ever fallen that flat. Not even a smile cracked.
I I feel like I had like true love for my anesthesiologist the first time. Like I was like, this is the best thing that's ever happened. So then I thought, but then he was not, he wasn't.
Get it closer, but just.
He wasn't like coming, like his head was huge. And so they had to like let it wear off. So then basically I did have a natural birth at the end. And like, I was like shedding real tears. Like it was terrible. I tell you, like I was crying because I was so happy to have a healthy baby, but like it was also over.
100%. After witnessing it in person, I'm like, just get me from point A to point B. Like just get me there. I don't care how we do it. Just get me there.
But seriously, like then Lewis, for like people wondering, like Lewis, I literally almost laughed. I laughed him out because I was so surprised. The epidural worked. It like everything was working great. And so they're like, all right, he's almost here. And I start laughing. I'm like, this is all because like last time was so horrible. And so I laugh and they're like, wait, no, not yet. Like,
oh my God.
I literally almost laughed.
They're really close together though. So I wonder if it was almost like memory for your body since there wasn't like a lot of.
Yeah. That's what they say. That like, it's so different the first time your body, like it's the first time your body's doing something too. And so, as I hear it is better. So
yeah.
Gosh.
Well, Ellie, Annie always makes fun of me, Ellie, because I said on a previous podcast that you became more maternal when you became a mom, and Annie was like, "No shit, Bryce." But I wanted to know, like, from your perspective, have things changed? Like, do you feel like you have, or?
So I don't like personally feel that different. I feel like just like, life, but like my lifestyle for sure has changed.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you probably are thinking of me when I was like
shotgunning beers,
doing the drinking. Yeah, like I was like
doing a shot ski,
bleeding. Yeah, and now I'm like changing a dirty diaper, but
that's
not. Yeah, I mean that would be the maternal change. What are you doing?
Give you a water if you needed one.
Oh.
I thought that was you always make fun of me. I feel like you become more maternal.
But that was one of the dumbest things you've ever said. Like, obviously.
Yeah, like a little,
like a little on the nose.
Mom, like.
Yeah, well, I just figured that, I don't know. I mean, I guess it was stupid only because I was then seeing you with a baby, and it's like, it just felt very natual for you. It felt like it was very easy, and I was like, whoa, okay, this is a lot different than, I don't know, a vodka soda. Like,
right, but listen, that I can get behind. That like feeling of like, oh my gosh, see, I can only imagine what it's going to look like except Emily's super maternal anyway. But like, just seeing your sibling with a child that they literally created is so unreal to me.
It
And
is.
so I understand the sentiment behind it, but it was how you said it that Jess was like, what in the world?
Yeah, I know. Whatever.
That's okay.
Whatever.
We do have a horrible connection.
Yeah, which is great. Lovely, right?
Yeah.
Well, we'll just keep powering through, I guess. I mean, what else can you do? But Ellie's also, I thought it was interesting. Actually, Janie brought this up to me. Ellie's also a wedding and events planner. And so I was curious as to, like, since a lot of people are having to postpone their weddings, you know, you deal with clients all the time. Like, what's the status on, like, all that? I mean, is everyone just postponing, and what are you telling your clients to do?
Yeah, no, this actually has been super interesting being in this field, because first of all, I feel so bad for everybody that has to switch their weddings, but I feel like everybody's in it, so they can kind of lean on each other. But it's kind of weird because normally I want to be like advising, but I mean, I'm just an event planner. I don't work for the government. I'm not a doctor. So it has been kind of hard, but the main thing that I've told people is, like, if you can have your wedding, you know, do you want your photos with like people in masks? And do you want like your guests to be restricted? Do you want to have to like sit people at a distance? Things like that you will totally probably remember. Then it's just like, if that's going to bother you, move your wedding. Like, it's just as simple as that. And so we do have a ton of people doing a ceremony, and then like a small intimate ceremony, and then doing a party later. And I actually think it's been super cool. Like, I almost think that maybe some people would want to do that, because it's so, if I could have done my ceremony with just like my closest people and then maybe a big party later, I think that's like kind of the best of both worlds in a weird way. So
I've always said that's like, T and I have always said that that's what we want to do.
Yeah. No, I think it's like kind of the way to do it. You should.
Yeah. Like, I would love to have a ceremony where it's just family and like my siblings stand up for me. Like, no like wedding party or whatever other than our siblings.
Yeah.
Have the ceremony and then plan a party at a later, like, it may shock people, but I like do not like having that much tension on me at all. So
that is a shock.
My palms actually are like sweating even thinking about it.
Annie, you'd be great. You would.
Yeah.
You decided to go that route.
And you deserve a day.
Because actually, this is another thing though that I tell my brides, Annie, is that people do want to celebrate you. That's part of it. So
it's not really. It's not more. It's less about you than you think.
But that makes me uncomfortable.
It's less about you. Stop being so selfish.
It is about you. That's why it makes it great. But people definitely, you have to have a party, because then.
Oh, the party will happen. And it's going to be on a beach with bonfires and taco bars.
Yeah, Annie says she wants just she wants like a taco truck, and that's it.
Yeah, I just want it to be like so simple with a good band. Call it a
Great
day.
Food.
Yeah.
Okay.
Beach.
Okay, sort of staying within that realm. You guys obviously both know this so well, but I have become absolutely obsessed with Karen's Going Wild, the Instagram meme account.
It's unreal. The amount of those that you send me, every single, you know what this has done? These two, the Karen's Going Wild and Kevin's Going Wild, it makes me hate white people.
I know, it really does make you hate white people.
It's a problem.
Well, Karen's Going Wild went down it got hacked or something, probably by a Karen. And then, so I started resorting to Kevin's Going Wild, which is just men.
Yeah.
But I want, just for our audience who may not know, like a Karen, quote unquote, is a mocking slang term for an entitled, obnoxious, middle-aged white woman who is generally stereotyped as having a blonde bob haircut, asking to speak to a retail or restaurant manager to voice complaints or make demands. So I just had to assume that, I mean, and I want to ask you too, Annie, I know Ellie has had to have run into Karens, planning weddings and doing like all that stuff. I have to imagine. But have you? I mean,
okay, I shockingly don't have bridezillas. There have been some more difficult moms sometimes because I kind of think maybe sometimes they think it's their wedding.
probably.
I have one in particular that
Oh, you have one.
that was pretty much a Karen, like a mom. And
Well,
she kind of is described as a Karen.
Well,
too.
what did she, because you were sort of telling me this, you're like, what did she do? Like, what was some of her behavior? Just so that people can get an understanding of what a Karen is.
Okay, so I knew the bride and the groom actually, friends of mine, friends of my husband, and they had been to my wedding, they had seen weddings I did, and they definitely wanted to work with me. But their mom, I didn't know it at first, but she did. I mean, she had other plans. She didn't want to work with me. I think she had friends that were a florist. I think she had all these friends, and I was recommending, probably different people. And so I was trying to meet with them to get them this simple contract signed, just to say, and honestly, it basically says that I'm going to work with the bride and groom. And I said, if you want me to add your mom or add somebody, I'm willing to do that. But you guys have to sign it. I mean, this is about you. And at the end of the day, I don't want complaints coming back.
Yeah, it's your vision.
It's your wedding. And I've had dozens and dozens of people sign these, and it's never been an issue. So anyway, I try to get them to sign. They just send all these provisions back, and I'm like, yes. But then only the mom signs. And so I ask her, I'm like, I don't understand what this problem is. And she's like, so you can try to call them, but everything's going through me, and they might think they're making the decisions, but I'm making the decisions. And so I gave them their deposit back. I hadn't even cashed it. I just said, look, I hope it's a great day, but I don't feel like.
Yeah, that's the only wedding you turned down, right?
I've only turned down one.
One wedding.
Good for you. Good
yeah,
for you.
I was like, I can't.
What a nightmare.
Deal with that. And Ellie, does she have a haircut? Does she have a bob haircut?
It's brown, but it's
of course
short.
It doesn't have to be blonde. Well, I was kind of telling because Annie, I mean, obviously your sister got married last year, and we, you kind of had to facilitate, because it was such a big wedding that you had to facilitate some things, but maybe not Karen levels, but you were I just love that you took there was no holds barred there. You were like, you were just like, I'm not letting anything, with the bus drivers and Annie was Annie was like air traffic controller at one point. She was like, you were all the jobs in that wedding.
I was, which I probably overstepped my boundaries a couple times, but that woman was not. And that was
you were Karen.
Emily's wedding planner is incredible. She, from start to finish, was awesome. But to your point, it was a huge wedding. So she had a ton of assistants. And one of the assistants was just awful. She just wasn't doing anything. I'll never forget that. She was like, I will handle it. And I was like, okay, but you're not. So move. What are you doing? Oh God, I will never forget that, because I was like, you're holding us up. Yeah, I took my job as maid of honor to another level.
Well, and to Annie's credit, I mean, she even Ellie, you don't have sisters. Emily is Annie's only sister. Yeah. It's this is her only time to really probably do. I mean, you're going to be maid of honor at someone else's wedding, but just for your family, for your siblings,
Oh no, realistically, this will be the only time that I'm maid of honor. And that was my one shot.
You are a professional maid of honor by trade.
I am really, really good at it. The other thing I kept doing is every time someone was all the bridesmaids and stuff were getting ready. Every time someone was like, well, what about my makeup? And I was like, today is not about you. No one's going to be looking at you.
Yes, that's right. That's right. That's so funny.
Do you know that people have been hired to be a professional bridesmaid so that they can do things like this, and they're paid to do it?
Oh, sign me up.
We need to sign you up. Where is the application?
Sign me up. I'm incredible at planning bachelorette parties. I am your biggest cheerleader on your actual day. I will tell your other bridesmaids,
duck in line.
I know no one's gonna look at me, so I'm never gonna try to steal your sunshine. Hire me.
I forgot that you had to say that. It was so you said it pretty nicely then, but you've told me the story and you're like, this is not about you.
Oh yeah, no, and I wasn't I would literally said that to people's faces. Today's not about you. Nobody's gonna look at you. Like, keep it moving.
I feel like this could be like a really profitable job in LA.
I agree.
That you would like thrive at.
I would love that.
Yeah.
Oh, my
I'm
God.
so down.
Yeah.
I had a Karen.
Sign me up.
I did, just quickly. I had a Karen who was, when I was walking on the sidewalk. This was right before I came back to Omaha and I was in LA, but I was walking on the sidewalk and I had my headphones on and I don't know what was happening. I was just on the sidewalk and some lady on a bike came driving by and she goes, ring, 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 like didn't have a bell on her bike, first of all, and was like, to ring, ring. And I was like, and she goes, you have your headphones in, I was telling you, the sidewalk, you need to like to move over. I was trying to signal you, but you had your headphones in. So, and like rode by.
Wait, that's a true Karen.
I know, it was a true Karen. And I had never encountered an actual Karen before. And I was like, you could maybe ride on the street because that's the law. And then I go, dun 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 dun.
You did that?
Oh my God.
Yes,
Oh my
yes.
God.
I don't think she heard me, but I was
Good for you.
I was really proud of myself. But I was like, who are you to tell me? And what is this ring ring? Like, what are you ringing an imaginary bell?
That's like the most Karen move.
That is the dumbest thing I've ever, like, it was so stupid.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Also, back to the weddings, you could also be a professional, like, speech giver as well, though. Like, you could be hired to give, like,
Annie and I should do that together.
Yeah, because
We
I heard that you're incredible.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
I did. I heard through the grapevine.
Yeah. It was
Thanks.
really,
like
really,
me,
really,
yeah,
really
my
good.
family.
I still get compliments on it, which is the best way to compliment me.
I mean, Annie,
honestly, so many are not good. So like to have a good one is like so memorable.
I mean, it was a standing ovation.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like that's a big accomplishment.
They chanted my name on my sister's wedding day. So actually, maybe I'm the worst maid of honor.
Yeah. But like, what's amazing though about your, like, that's what your sister loves that too. Like I, not to say any other way, but like, she is so happy that happened on her wedding.
Totally.
You say it like that, and cause some people would probably be like, well, I can't believe that happened. But she's like the first one to be standing up and cheering your name,
Well, and she also knew that I spent a year writing it.
Well, that's aggressive, but
yeah, but it's facts.
Yes.
I mean,
it's a lot of pressure.
Well, so I mean, obviously that was great, that conversation, but I want to get back to the real importance, which is me, in this conversation. So I want to know, Elle, I hope everyone watches this on YouTube to see both of your faces. But Elle, do you think that we're alike? Like, do you think there's similarities between us?
I feel like sometimes people are like, you guys have the same personality.
Someone said we were twins once.
Yeah, I have twin friends, the Willies, who actually live in LA.
Willies,
I know that.
They do listen.
Yeah.
And they are like, they'll hang out with Bryce and be like, Elle, you guys are twins. And I'm like, I don't know if we're twins. Like, let's not go that far. I feel like we have a very similar sense of humor.
Right.
And probably like you guys, we can like, nothing like your feelings are not hurt. So like, we can just go back and forth. That's banters. No, I'm saying like our feelings don't get hurt. So I can like be real.
Right.
But Bryce is like, my feelings are always hurt.
Oh, okay.
No, I was gonna say, were your feelings hurt when I used to like torment you and my brothers, like we would always call each other fat?
Okay, yeah. So Bryce.
Okay, well now we know why you have a fucking complex.
Yes.
Totally. No, so there's like 3 phases of Bryce. It's like, okay, so Bryce switched schools in 5th grade. So there's pre-5th grade, and I'm gonna call him Pius Bryce
because that's where I went to school.
His school was called St. Pius. So that's where he was like, I don't have like
First of all, I was the talk of the town at Pius.
Here we go.
Like,
with your eye patch? With your eye patch?
Thank you, Annie. Thank you. I think Pius just like kind of, like when you see somebody like grow up, you kind of just like accept. You're like, okay, he is who he is. Like till 5th grade, you're like, everyone's still figuring themselves out. He made like a ton of like lifelong friends. And then my parents rudely uprooted him. And switched him to St. Vincent.
I'm still mad about this.
St. Vincent Bryce. And so then there's like 5th through 8th grade where Bryce is like literally, like, you would have never guessed who he was. He's like a terror. I think you guys have kind of touched on the conduct.
Yeah,
you touched
Yeah,
on it.
this is when you used to go poop in the church rectory or something.
Upstairs bathroom.
Okay,
yes. Yeah.
Multiple conduct reports. And so, yeah,
I was just so mean. I was so mean
like,
to these, like, to kids that like had they would like be like, "Hey, Bryce," I'd be like, "Shut your fat face." Like, I would just be so mean.
Hated it. But then he also was just like really awkward to like those.
Well, Annie's whole there's a picture of Annie holding a picture of me and Peyton Manning.
It's an iconic photo.
It is iconic is the only word to describe it, actually.
Yeah.
It's iconic, and we're gonna use it as our Nobody's Christmas card next year.
Oh yes,
brilliant.
yes.
Yeah, I think you guys need to get like work on like a remake. Like you need to like not get him and get the photo again, get the bear.
Yeah.
All grown up.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So then, so then there's, and he was a terror, and he was so awkward. Like Bryce like wins in awkward stages.
I do.
And then there's like like 8th grade where he kind of came into himself, and like post Bryce, where we're like, and then that's kind of where we're at.
Now we're in a renaissance. So.
But he's also like, you could also say that right now is like obsessive Bryce with this like food obsession and like working out.
How many fire in the holes have you done today?
None yet. I meant to do one, but I haven't yet. I meant to do one before we started, but I forgot.
So we're gearing up for like 7 this afternoon.
Yeah. Yes.
Perfect.
I had 2 in a row. Like, that was not good. That was not a good.
You texted me. What day was that? Monday or Tuesday?
Yeah,
you texted me and you were like, I just did a fire in the hole. I thought you should know. And for those that don't know what fire in the hole is, it's when he makes a protein shake. Fire in the hole could really be confused for something else.
Yes, seriously.
So, and then less than an hour later, you texted me again and you were like, I just did another fire in the hole. And I was like, you are going to poop your pants.
Yeah, I know. Seriously. I mean, for real.
Yeah.
Okay. So I wanted to finish up the podcast with a segment that we all love, which is Annie's approval.
Love it.
Yes.
But I have an addendum to it because I remember when we first started this podcast, our cousin Bridget, who's Ellie's like best friend ever, and she suggested that we have Ellie like call in because of Ellie, very similar to the same process of Ellie off the cuff responses, very similar to Annie's approval. So I came up with Annie's approval and Ellie's endorsement.
Oh.
So I'm going to ask you, Annie, do you approve? And Ellie, do you endorse?
Okay, I
So
like
you
this.
can-
This is good.
Yes or no?
I love
Okay. Okay. So this is the first one's pretty easy. And everyone has seen this. A packed pool party in Lake of the Ozarks showed no social distancing in sight. Did you guys see that photo? So a packed pool party in the Lake of the Ozarks showed no social distancing in sight, no masks, no nothing. Everyone was just like raging their faces off, probably taking fireball shots, which, I mean, seems pretty fun. But Annie, do you approve? And Ellie, do you endorse?
I do not approve.
I agree.
For a lot of reasons. However, I do approve of fireball shots.
Yeah.
Do you endorse? You have to say I do or don't endorse.
Okay, so I don't endorse the Ozarks pool party. I was actually texted this picture though by somebody. They received the text and then they texted me and then I saw it on the news later. And so no.
What an embarrassment. I mean, come on.
It's just like, another spike. Like, come on.
But also, like, what else should we expect from people in Southern New York?
Right. Right. I mean, also, I mean, you know, again, I saw, you know, tons of boats in Newport too. You know, it's not like it's, you know, people,
Yeah,
I mean,
but
I guess
a boat is different. A boat is different because, like, one, you're probably on a boat with people you know and have seen in quarantine. Two, there's way fewer people can fit on a boat. So a boat, in my opinion, is different than what the fuck
like
we're doing
water
in the
park.
Ozarks. Yeah, like it was.
This was like body to body.
Swim up bar.
Yeah,
honestly,
it was a Vegas pool. It was a Vegas
Yeah.
pool, and people were in the water, which we know how I feel about that.
Yeah, call us Vegas.
Yeah, like it was.
August probably loves it.
God.
Okay. The next one is a Japanese amusement park is telling guests to avoid shouting or cheering on outdoor attractions, including roller coasters.
Is this because of coronavirus?
Yes. They don't want you to
Why are
open.
they
I don't
on
think they
roller
want you to
coasters?
open your mouth. Like, because then you can spread through if you're like, woo! You know?
Imagine how boring a silent roller coaster would be.
It's like
Great
a
point.
silent disco.
Yeah. Like, well,
Great
that's
point.
different. Those are
Which is
kind of cool.
just as boring.
The silent discos are the ones with the headphones, right?
Yes.
Those are dope. A silent roller coaster is just torture.
Yes. I mean, how you can't help it if you're screaming.
And like, what happens if you scream afterwards? They're like, we saw you. You were the third row in on the fourth
Yeah.
section.
What are they
Like,
going to give you? A citation for cheering?
you're like, I saw you scream when you were upside down there.
I feel like if you prohibit screaming or yelling, that it would actually cause more people to throw up.
Probably. Actually, that's not a bad idea.
This is a
Like-
desperate attempt to keep the roller coaster open. Like,
Yeah. And if you also, yeah, exactly. Like if you have to put those rules in place, like maybe don't open your park.
Or like wear a mask, like in Scream. Like I don't like require a mask.
I'm picturing the
don't
photos. I'm picturing the
understand.
photos, like the post-ride photos of everyone wearing a mask.
Or like everyone not screaming, like
Yeah, just like straight faced.
They're all like looking constipated.
clenching
Yeah.
their Josh.
Okay, you guys will like this next one. It was basically made for both of you. A female, which I don't know, that doesn't really matter. A female 103-year-old COVID-19 survivor celebrates by chugging an ice cold beer in her hospital bed. Annie, do you approve?
Just a round of applause,
100%.
What a
Ellie, do you
champion. What a
endorse?
champion. I endorse.
Great.
Oh yeah,
That's a
she
good
is
one.
iconic.
What
You did drink Bud Light, which is interesting.
Why is that interesting?
honestly, Bryce, let's not. She just let's not go there. What was
No, I
available to her? Like what? Like a specialty IPA?
Yeah,
Did she
I
like
know.
request? Like
Also, who
let the
chugs
100-year-old
IPAs?
have her money.
Yeah.
Yeah, who
Yeah.
chugs IPAs?
All
Like
right,
the only
okay.
beers you can chug are Miller Lite, which you might as well chug urine, Bud Light, or Coors Light. Like you can't. No one's chugging or shotgunning IPAs.
Fine,
The
all right, I
only
retract.
the only way this would have been more badass is if she would have like popped the can open with her tooth and shotgunned it.
Or bit into like
Yeah, like full Baker style.
yes. God.
That's
Vampire teeth.
wait, can he break what does he do? He can like do the teeth thing with the bottle?
Or
No,
the
like,
with the
just
can.
bite
with a
into
can, you
to
just
like
put-
create the
You
hole.
said-
Yeah, I'm
because
sure.
you're-
there's-
because you're
Oh.
vampire teeth.
Oh wow. That's
But he'll
that's a-
still lose to Emily.
that's a party.
That's the most important thing is he will still lose to Emily.
Yes.
That's impressive, Emily.
Okay, so the next one is a soccer team in South Korea replaced fans with sex dolls to make their stadium look full. Do you approve and do you endorse?
Oh.
Honestly, like
And the sex dolls had masks on, by the way.
Oh, that
like-
helps.
That helps.
honestly, I
South
approve
Korea.
because there are no rules in 2020.
None. Ellie?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think I endorse this one. Like, come on. Like, also, like, what are they doing with all? There's so many questions beyond this. Like, did they purchase all of these? Like, where do they go afterwards? Like, who put all the masks on? Like, who? I don't know.
Who dressed him up?
Who's
Who
dealing
blew
with
them
this?
up?
Yeah. I mean, seriously, there's so many questions.
There's like a whole staff.
Yeah.
There'd be a whole staff of
I
them.
guess
How
if you're
many-
keeping people employed to blow up these dolls, I approve or I endorse.
Yeah,
True,
that's what I'm
okay,
saying. You
that's a
have,
good-
you have to approve because it's just like,
Mom,
I
come
mean,
say
why?
hi.
Like, why the fuck not?
Yeah, I mean,
Jane just came down and is now taking photos of us, but refuses to like come in front of the camera to say
hi,
hi.
Annie.
How are you?
Pictures of these guys.
I love
Can't wait
it.
to listen tomorrow.
I
It's her
love it.
favorite thing to do on Friday.
My Friday favorite.
Yeah, it's her Friday favorite, she said.
That's what mom and dad do. They make roadies and then go listen to it.
Yeah, that's great. That's so nice. Okay, you guys will like this one too. Khloe Kardashian posts an unrecognizable photo of herself. Do you approve?
Okay, this raised a lot. There's a lot of controversy around this.
You guys talk about this. I have to pee, obviously.
Okay.
What do you think?
Because I don't know if I heard like all the controversy. I had like a group text and they sent it, and it is like, you know, they've got a lot of Photoshop fails, and this one just seemed really obvious. Like unless she looks like, I mean, she looks good in the picture, but it just is like,
She does not look like that.
not her. No. And so I just feel like, oh, why go to that level? Come on, Khloe, we like love you. You just got to like be yourself. Come on.
Exactly. Here's the thing. This is my theory. At first, when I saw it, I was like, did she like face morph her face with Chrissy Teigen?
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
I was like, what's going on?
I literally thought it was like I don't know.
Like a face morph.
I thought it was like
two celebrities together.
Yeah, like something to be funny. Like I thought that's how different it was, that she was like doing it to
Facetune.
Yeah.
Annie, you thought it was Facetune.
But it is Facetune. Here's my theory. I think that that's what she thinks she looks like. Like I think she has like body dysmorphia because she's had work done, which I mean, no hate. Like, listen, I have had work done, like whatever, but I'm not like calling her out for that. But
yeah, she's got to have it. Like, there's a lot of pressure.
Right, exactly. And that's fine. Do what you got to do to feel good. But I really think that her body dysmorphia is so bad that that's what she thinks her face looks like.
That's a good guess.
Her neck was this wide. Like her neck was.
Her eyes were on different planes.
Yes, her neck was so Facetuned that like her esophagus wouldn't fit in it.
Like you're like her, like it was so Facetuned that like the other side of her necklace like was missing. Like,
yes,
I feel like
exactly. Like you're fooling.
Like
I am a Khloe Kardashian supporter. You're not fooling anyone. Like you cannot continue to do that.
I think we should say that Khloe, you're beautiful the way that you are. You don't need to do that.
Khloe's like hilarious.
Yeah,
I know.
She's awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Bryce, I want you to repeat that mantra that you just said to yourself in the mirror 5 times a day.
So
not like when I did. Literally, I don't even want to tell you. I'll tell you in the next podcast. I'm so mean to myself. I'll be like, I'll eat something, and I'll as I'm eating, I'm like, you fat, fucking fat asshole. You guys, I'm
this
just
is
so
an LA
mean.
thing too, though. I feel
100%.
Yes, I know. Ellie said this before. She's like, I think you guys just may have like developed this.
Because I feel like I would do that same thing, but I'm like in Nebraska, so I'm like, okay, like I'll throw on a big sweatshirt. Let's just walk this way.
Ellie said that if she hadn't met, we didn't get to this question, but when Ellie said she would be living in LA if she hadn't, I
was planning on it.
She was gonna move to LA, so she would have been right in the same boat with us.
Yeah, I would have been there.
100%. It is an LA thing.
Body dysmorphia just like that.
I mean, I feel like every woman probably kind of has it. Like I still totally have it, but it's just not as emphasized in LA because you see, I don't know, it's just everybody you see, and there's just like another standard I feel like you have to like live up to. I mean, I went to school at U of Arizona, so I mean, it's kind of the same thing. Arizona is a similar place.
Yep.
So
right.
Yeah.
Okay, next one is Miley Cyrus gave boyfriend Cody Simpson a matching mohawk. Do you approve and do you endorse?
I mean, this is still.
So she has a mohawk, and she gave him a mohawk, and then posted matching mohawks.
She's bored.
Yeah. Also, I have more of an issue with her having a mohawk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Definitely. And they're like so thirsty, those two. Like, I just like, come on, give us a break. We don't care.
I agree. I'm like kind of over her.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't approve or disapprove. Like, just stay off my newsfeed.
Yeah. No, Annie, I think you've said it right. You're like, whatever Whatever gets you through quarantine. I mean,
100%.
honestly, just do it.
Yep.
So the last one I wanted to end with is on Florida, because we love Florida, obviously. And I really want to explain this article to you, but the headline is, a shoplifting Florida man flees store, strips naked as ribeye steaks fall out of his pants. So here's some more information, just FYI. He was at this was in DeLand, I don't know, it was at Save a Lot in DeLand, Florida. Witnesses reported to police that in an attempt to get away, this guy wriggled out of his clothes, and 4 packs of ribeye steaks valued at $41.24 fell out of them.
Interesting. Wait, so read that part though.
Wait, where?
Oh, he was held without bail on Monday.
He was held without bail. There's some other, I think that there was something else. Oh, he was also taken to the hospital after it was discovered that a taser prong struck him in the genitals. So talk about insult to injury there.
Wow.
Do you approve, Annie?
I mean, honestly, like this is one of those headlines that you like just put a bunch of shit in a hat and you pull out like fragments of sentences, and that's what this article is.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like
it's Mad Libs.
Yeah.
Yeah, like sometimes I feel like the shit coming out of Florida is made up.
I mean, you can't, but seriously, you can't make it up. It's like, it's too insane.
I wonder if he was tased before or after the meat debacle.
It has to be after. It has to be after, because
what if he was tased and then was like, I'm gonna go get this, I'm gonna go steal this steak?
No. I mean, like, was he tased and then like his clothes were ripped off and then the meat came out, or was it like the meat came out and we're like, we're gonna tase you because you're shoplifting?
Hang on, let's see.
Yeah,
he was
how did they know he was shoplifting?
He was trying to get away from a grocery store, so he stripped naked and steaks tumbled out of his pants. He was running out of the store in the buff. When he refused to stop, officers shot him with a taser.
Okay,
sorry.
He was for sure on bath salts.
Yeah.
Like, if you're about to get caught with something, it takes a long time to take off all your clothes.
Right. Yeah. And especially if you're housing like a ton of cow in there too.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's not like, if I'm trying to escape.
Why do you have to verse it like that?
Because he's
weird.
Bryce. I was unfazed by that. I was just like, no.
Yeah, and he just like kept moving on. See?
Yeah.
She gets it.
I don't know. No, I do not get it. I do not get it, and I do not approve of how you do things, but I'm used to it.
Ellie does not endorse, and Annie does not approve.
Yeah, that's too much cow in his pants.
Yeah, I was unfazed by it because I'm pretty sure that's not the first time he said it.
I really hope it's the first time.
Well, you guys, that was all I had for you. Or are you done?
No, that's
I do want to say the last thing I want to ask Ellie is, before we go, is Ellie, how mad are you still that you didn't meet Chelsea Handler when I worked for her?
Oh, this is so wrong. Like, honestly, we would have so vibed. Like, I never met her.
Same.
Yeah.
Neither have I.
I know. Annie, it's messed up. We both need to meet her. We could all be friends. And we could all talk about Bryce, like, in the same way.
Oh my God. The segments that could come out of that would be unbelievable.
They would be gold.
They would be.
Solid gold. I know, but Ellie's still mad. Ellie will still say that. I mean, I haven't worked for Chelsea in 2-3 years or something, and you'll still be like, I still cannot.
We used to watch like Chelsea Handler together and talk about meeting her, and like I still never met her. It's terrible what you've done.
Do you feel bad? Do you feel badly about it, Bryce?
I do feel bad. I do feel bad.
That doesn't help me. But.
That also was not convincing, like, even a little.
Yeah, I do. For the viewers.
I do. I really.
For the listeners.
For the listeners there, yeah.
Or viewers. They might be watching it now.
True. Yeah, we are putting these are on YouTube now. So every one of you are streaming. Hello.
Yes.
But Ellie, tell everybody before we go, where they can find you on social media.
Oh gosh. caught off guard. At Ellie.Seals.
And you also
and
have
I
an
have
Instagram.
events. It's Ellie Seals Events at Ellie Seals Events.
So yeah, so if anyone is looking for a wedding coordinator, planner,
or a stand-in bridesmaid, it sounds like Annie.
well, yes, Annie.
I'm actually now an employee of Ellie Seals Events, and I'm up for hire.
Ellie is expanding her business.
We're trying to any business we can get.
Yeah, but if you are in the Omaha area or in the Midwest or anywhere really, you can.
We'll go anywhere.
Look Ellie up. She'll help you out.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks for coming on.
Great hanging out.
Yeah, I know how Bryce feels now. Like when we do this with my siblings, it's so interesting to like be on the other side of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
I know we gotta all hang out at some point.
Yeah, we will. Once we're all in the same city at the same time.
Yes. It's imperative.
Yes.
We should have done it over Christmas, but
next time. Okay, so make sure that you are also following us at Nobody's Pod, at Annie_Wilk, at Bryce Advice on Instagram. Same on TikTok. Twitter is at Nobody's the Pod. Same for personals. You can also email us at noexpertallopinion@gmail.com. I think that's it.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Ellie, for being here. And we hope you have an amazing weekend.
And more importantly, a safe and healthy week. Thanks, guys.